Welcome back. You're watching News Center. Under Donald Trump, US and China are headed for more volatile times. Trump has threatened to impose tariffs up to 60% on Chinese goods being imported into America. Will this hurt China and disrupt the global economy? Or will it force China to pursue stronger domestic growth and better trade ties with other nations, including India? That remains to be seen. But clearly his cabinet appointments show that he plans to execute a muscular foreign policy with regard to China. Trump has nominated John Ratcliffe to head the CIA, Fox News host Pete Hegseth as Secretary of Defense, and Florida Congressman Michael Waltz as National Security Advisor. Republican Senator Marco Rubio has been nominated as Secretary of State. All of them have very strong views on how US should rise up to the Chinese threat, both economically and territorially. How is the new Trump presidency, continuing tensions in the Middle East and the Russia-Ukraine war impact the global economy? And does India stand out as a bright spot that may benefit? Joining us right now is Bob Willen, Kearney's managing partner and global chairman. Thank you very much, Bob, for joining us. What do you think Trump's victory will mean for the U.S. outlook towards the world and for the global economy?
Well, first, thank you for having me, and it's wonderful to be here and also think about India's role within the global economy and what does it mean with the election of President Trump and probably broader geopolitical dynamics and what's happening in the world. I think for some time we've already seen some shifts away from a bipolar world dominated by US and China relationship and what that means for organizations around the world. Certainly with the election of President Trump and his America First policies, there's probably even more of a shift towards localization, regionalization of certain markets, certain supply chains, and a changing global dynamic. We talk a lot about entering a multipolar phase in the world, and certainly at some level, the deglobalization of supply chains, of trading relationships, a very different dynamic as we look forward relative to the past 20 or 30 years. That really is fascinating for so many organizations around the world trying to make sense of that dynamic, but also a time of significant change in so many ways and what's likely to happen. We don't have the answers about what President Trump will do. In the end, I think he's also a pragmatist and needs to find solutions to serve the American people. But we do know that organizations and our clients all across the world are thinking about these things, thinking about their own footprint, their own supply chains, their own operations all across the world in now very different ways.
Right, absolutely. Give us a sense of what kind of impact Elon Musk could have on Donald Trump's economic policies, considering Elon Musk's troubles in China, his huge interest there. There has been a slowdown in Tesla's production. There is competition with Chinese EV manufacturers. Musk is big on AI, big on Starlink and SpaceX. Considering his stakes, how do you think Elon Musk and the Donald Trump combination will be for India? How will he tailor or advise or impact Donald Trump's approach to India?
Well, I think he's just one of probably several close advisors that support these policies that appear to be on the way to rolling out in different ways. I think President Trump has talked about this throughout the campaign, and certainly his close advisors have certain beliefs, whether one describes them as hawkish or in other ways. I don't think it's just Elon Musk. In fact, Elon Musk looks like he's slated to play more of a domestic role, even in his appointment, looking at government efficiency. Nevertheless, it is clear that this administration will think very differently about the world, and certainly some of the policies that have been hinted at, have been proposed, will reshape certainly the trading dynamics with China, emphasize the security concerns that we've seen over the last years in more significant ways, and as I talked about before, accelerate probably the some of the trends, really looking at alternate sources of supply, different dynamics in trading relationships across the world. And I think India plays in the middle of that. We know that India is developing rapidly. India has incredible potential. And in this changing global dynamic, really presents interesting opportunity in addition to some challenges that we see going forward.
Right. Bob, do you feel that the Department of Government Efficiency that will be set up by Donald Trump, and this is going to function outside of the White House, do you think it's a welcome step?
Well, as a U.S. citizen myself, I'm always in favor of government efficiency. And what we're seeing, though, and now I speak as an American who has spent half of his professional career outside the U.S., we see the role of government shifting. Government is a partner with industry in terms of economic growth and development. We talk about a new era of industrial policy where governments are playing a role to shape industry, to establish priorities, to shape the regulatory environment in ways which help economies develop. And you could argue that America First policies are a more extreme example of that, but we see other examples around the world where the way global trading relationships exist today, there needs to be a concerted effort between public and private sectors in order to deliver the best results for people.
Right. From his appointments, it's very clear that this presidency would be tough on China. How do you think this volatile trade relationship with China will impact the world economy? Is this something that concerns you? Will this cause a lot of disruptions?
I think there is always disruption when the dynamics shift quickly. And that certainly is one of the risks that we would see now is with imposition of tariffs and other trade restrictions that may require a period of resettling in what has been global relationships that have developed over probably many decades. I think we're already seeing, a shift in production, say, from China to other countries in Southeast Asia. I think we've already seen some shifting in patterns of trade and supply chain from China to other countries.
Do you expect the investment cycle globally to slow down for a few months until people understand how Trump is going to function? Maybe wait till his first 6 months in office?
I would expect that's probably something we will see, just to try to understand first, see the appointments that get made. I think it's true with the new U.S. presidency, but probably true in other countries as well, to see the appointments, to see what the initial ideas are and how that they would be translated into policy steps. So I would expect that that's probably the case.
How will India be poised in this volatile geopolitical order? Two wars are going on. You've got a unpredictable president in the White House with a very strong, perhaps stronger America First policy in his second term. How do you think India stands to lose or benefit?
I've spoken about deglobalization, as some call it, also a phase that would be described as a multipolar world. I think these present incredible opportunities for India to take advantage of the momentum that it has, the attributes that it has, some of the fundamental strengths, which are really the foundation for this new aspiration that we see in India. And I think the world is excited about that. Looking for alternate sources of supply, certainly different relationships. I heard a great description, really, which can be best summarized as, while the economists are talking about deglobalization, the global South is busy doing business, right? They are connecting with each other. They're making new relationships. The aspiration, and probably India is at the forefront of that, but so many countries of the global South also are quite keen to see rapid economic growth and development. All of this puts India, I think, in a great position. And we see that with our clients as well, quite excited about what's to come and the role that India could play.
Right. What sectors make you most excited about India?
Well, I think certainly it has to start with the digital economy and what India represents to the world increasingly in the digital sector. We understand and know that there's an objective to create a $1 trillion digital economy in India. I think that's very possible, that's very realistic. And already, we see it leading the way in many aspects of digital growth and development. There's other sectors as well. I think manufacturing, clearly with the Make in India programs, continuing to drive growth and development in all different sectors. Perhaps energy is another sector which is really has India poised to play a leadership role. And in areas like pharmaceuticals, we see the growth of generics, the leadership that India already has, being so important to the world and what comes next. So I think there are many, many opportunities that India has looking forward.
Bob, thank you so much for joining us. We've completely run out of time, but thank you for telling us about your view on Trump's presidency and how India can stand to benefit in a divided and volatile world order. That's all we have time for here on News Center. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.